Hello and welcome to my channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about the Raynox 150 and how it's one of the most underrated achromats in the Raynox field. Generally people buy the Raynox 250 because everybody is using the 250. It's really rare that people look at the Raynox 150 as a very good achromat, and it seems like nobody knows that the Raynox 150 is there or they want to buy it. In my video I'm trying to show that I've done some photos of a watch between the 150 and the 250, and I wanted to show that the 150 is also capable to do good macro photography. So it's not always the 250 that has to be there in everybody's kit when doing macro photography. The 150 actually shines for big subjects, which is caterpillars, flowers, butterflies, where you don't want extreme magnification at very low range, but you want more freedom in doing the composition with a slight increase in the magnification. Maybe at the end of the video you may see that the 150 can be a great sidekick with the 250 and at times can even overcome the 250. So let's have a look. Before I begin the comparison video, a quick short note. All the photos are taken at the same settings, which is f16, 1:200 and ISO 320. I've used a normal flash with a small normal diffuser, which is the Lumicus Softbox 3. So all the photos are generally the same. I have not done any adjustments in terms of making sure the exposure is correct, except for viewing purposes I have sharpened the photos. So let's have a look here at the comparison photos. Right, so let's have a look at the comparison photos between the 150 and the 250. Both the achromats are attached on the 55-250 telephoto lens and on the 100mm. Before I begin the comparison photos, I will show you the box that Raynox had provided with the CM2000. Let's have a look here. The illustration shows that the 150 has an incremental increase in magnification as you increase the mm, whereas the 250 has a high exponential magnification increase against the 150. For example, the 150 can achieve 1:1 when you are on a telephoto lens in between 200 to 210 mm. Star that all these mm's are at full frame. So these are not cropped, but these are all full frame mm ratios. But if you consider the 250 achieves 1:1 in between 100 and 135 mm. This can be a difference when you're doing on-field photography for amateurs or for beginners. Like I said, the 150 being a very comfortable exponential increase can help you in making good compositions fairly in less magnification. Generally, if you're using the 150, you can be at 1:1, but for bigger subjects such as butterflies where you need slight magnification, this range can be more useful. Whereas in the 250, the range for larger subjects is very less. So I will first start with the 150 on the 55-250 and then I will show you the 250 on the 55-250. This is the 150 on the 55-250 at 55 mm. Now there is short magnification, it's not too compressed, and you have a lot of room to play with the composition. If you get next to the 100 mm when you are at the telephoto, so the 150 is not magnifying things in a good way. You still have a lot of things to play with, and as you progress further, when you are at 200 mm here, now you have all the details in. Now before I forget, all these photos are taken with the Canon 80D and it's an APS-C model, so there is a crop factor of 1:6. I don't have a full frame here, so the next time if I get a full frame, I may do this test once again. If you check further, the 150 at its highest telephoto range of 250 mm, now you have still a lot of room to play good details and overall a great image. If I check the 250 next, so the 250 at 55 mm is already bossed in. I'll say it's a little bit more compressed than the 150. Nice bullet coming in and going out. So between the 250 and the 150, if I have to compare really quick, you have more room to play here but less room here. This can be a difference, like I said before, for larger subjects. In the 150 you can accommodate a butterfly or a caterpillar in a good composition, whereas in the 250 this may not be always possible. If I further take down to say 200 mm between the 150 and the 250, then it's even more close. So with the 250 you are gaining more details inside, but with the 150 you are gaining more composition area. That can be a difference on field for your subjects. And if I start to zoom in, all you can do is you still have room to play on your cropping part. So you have details here, but you have more details here. So if you are doing small insects where you want your focus is on small subjects, then the 250 can overcome the 150. But if you are taking photos of a butterfly, caterpillar, flowers, where magnification is not so much important but composition is there, then the 150 can be a great companion. At its highest telephoto range, with the 150 and the 250, this can be a difference. As you can see, at 250, the 150 still has a lot of room to play, but the 250 is not too close. So if I am on the 1.6, I assume that this is, I think, at 400 mm when you multiply by 1.6. So this is where the main difference happens in terms of working distance. For the 250 you're really close for the details and everything. With the 150 you're a little bit far away at its own telephoto range. So in the end it's what you want. Generally when people ask me what should I buy, the 150 or the 250, I always portray to buy both the achromats, because they are a companion to each other. On the field, at times you may see that the 150 can overcome the 250, or at times the 250 can also overcome the 150. It's not always the 250 is going to win the race. 150 can also overtake at times. Let's see what happens when you use the 150 on an 100 mm. So for the first photo, this is the 150 on the 100 mm at infinity. So at infinity means there is absolutely no magnification going on the 100 mm itself. Here you can observe that it's even with the 150 the photo is a little bit compressed, and as you start going up with the 150 you really start getting closer. So with the 150 at 1:1 you have a lot of details here and sufficient working distance. If you compare the same with the 250 on the 100 mm, you are really close right at the beginning, even at infinity. So a quick comparison between the 150 at infinity and the 250 at infinity, you have the difference in composition. Again, it's a matter of what you want to shoot. The 150 will be very good for larger subjects, 250 for smaller subjects. The magnification will differ as you go further. Let us consider the 150 and the 250 when the 100 mm is set at 1:2. And a quick comparison shows it's not so big difference between both the achromats. Both are performing excellent at 1:2. Of course, 250 will give you more details on a shorter, I'll say on a compressed composition. The 150 may give you lesser magnification but on a greater composition. This can be the difference between taking a photo of, say, a shield bug versus taking a photo of a butterfly, a moth, or a caterpillar, where you want to have details of the antenna but you also want to have the details of the eye or its scales, but not so much. The 150 at 1:1 also gives good detail, as is with the 250. So with the 250, if you compare, now here you still have good details in both the achromats. If I zoom in at 100%, so for example the S is bigger in the 250, the S is smaller in the 150. This is what you are going to get in the difference in terms of magnification. Even the ridges here of the watch are magnified more, of course, because this is the 250, and they are magnified less because here it's the 150. But if I zoom out, then you have a good composition against the 250. So it's not always that the 250 is going to be perfect in composition. It is harder to use because there is a difference between both the 150 and the 250. The 150 is a 4 diopter achromat versus the 250, which is an 8 diopter achromat. Double the diopters will give you a sudden boost in the working distance and in the magnification, which makes me come back to this box again. That is the main difference between both these achromats and can prove the difference when you are taking photos on the field. With this, I hope you have understood the difference between the 150 and the 250, and if at times you want to begin macro photography and are interested in the Raynox, you can look at buying the 150 and then progress to the 250. Both the achromats are going to be there in your kit for long. They are an investment. Both the achromats will be there accompanying you on the field and at times can overpower each other. But if used correctly, the 150 can be a very good companion in macro photography. If you have any questions on this video, you can write down in the comments, and if you would like me to do any other video of this style, please let me know and I will try to do it. Thank you for watching and have a great day.